Marcus is halfway through a quarterly report when his phone buzzes. He doesn't look at it. He doesn't touch it. He keeps typing. But a corner of his attention just broke off and drifted toward that notification. By the end of this video, you'll know how to close that mental tab, and the answer isn't what you'd expect. A single phone buzz triples your chance of making a mistake without touching your phone. Why can't your brain let it go? The search for that answer starts in a Berlin cafe in 1927, where Bluma Zeigarnik noticed her waiter could recall every unpaid order, but forgot it all once the bill was settled. She ran experiments showing people recalled interrupted tasks about twice as well as completed ones. For nearly a century, everyone quoted this. But when researchers pooled every study ever run, the effect didn't hold up. A century of advice was built on sand. But something else from that research does hold up. When people are interrupted on a task, they resume it about 2/3 of the time, without being asked. This has been tested for decades, and it holds. Your brain has a built-in pull toward finishing what you started. And modern research has revealed the deeper cost. Unfinished tasks don't just sit in memory. They drain your working memory and generate intrusive thoughts while you focus elsewhere. Except you know the feeling. You start something, get pulled away, and hours later it's still tugging at you. That feeling is real, but it's not about memory. In 2011, two researchers at Florida State, E.J. Masacampo and Roy Baumeister, had a hypothesis that went against 90 years of assumption. Everyone thought unfinished tasks nag at you because they stay active in memory until you complete them. Masacampo and Baumeister suspected you could shut down that nagging without finishing the task at all. They ran 6 experiments to test it, and the results pointed to something nobody expected. In their first study, participants wrote about 2 important tasks they needed to finish. Then they read a passage from a novel. The people with unfinished goals reported more mind-wandering. Their thoughts kept drifting back to the tasks they hadn't completed. They also scored lower on a reading comprehension test. In later studies, the pattern held. Unfinished goals made goal-related words more accessible in memory, and they impaired performance on an unrelated puzzle task. The open loops were consuming cognitive resources that should have gone to the task at hand. Then came the twist. Another group also wrote about unfinished tasks, but this time, they made a specific plan for each one, exactly when, where, and how they'd complete it. They didn't do the tasks. They simply planned them. And every interference effect completely disappeared. No more intrusive thoughts. No more mind-wandering. No more impaired performance. They performed identically to people who had no unfinished goal at all. Planning didn't even reduce anxiety. They felt just as stressed as before, but their brains had stopped tracking the open loop. You don't have to finish the task. You just have to tell your brain when you will. Here's the rule, and it's the only one you need to remember. For every unfinished task that's occupying your mind, write down a specific plan that states exactly when, where, and how you will do it. Not a vague intention like, I'll get to it this week. Not a to-do list with the tasks circled and highlighted. A plan that says, Friday at 2 p.m., at my desk, I'll open the spreadsheet and draft the executive summary first, then fill in the numbers. The specificity is what closes the loop, and the reason why is something most people get completely backwards. Take Marcus and his quarterly report. The task has been hovering over him for days, and he keeps thinking about it while doing other things, which means it's draining his bandwidth right now. He writes, Thursday, 3 p.m., conference room, I'll open last quarter's numbers and build the revenue table first, then the narrative. The report isn't done. He hasn't written a single word of it, but his brain now has a directive, a time, a place, and a method, and the monitoring system can stand down. The bandwidth that was being spent tracking the open loop is now his to use. The plan isn't a promise to finish. It's a promise to stop thinking about it until the time arrives. Now the 3 draft emails. Each one has been sitting in his inbox, half-written, generating its own low-level hum of mental interference. He writes a plan for each. The first one, tomorrow at 9 a.m., from his desk, he'll finish the pricing section and send. The second, tomorrow at 11, after the team stand-up. The third, Thursday morning before lunch. 3 open loops, 3 plans, 30 seconds of writing. None of the emails are sent, but the nagging is gone, not because the work is done, but because his brain knows exactly when it will be. The phone buzz from the beginning is the same mechanism in miniature. The moment your brain registers that something needs your attention later, it opens a tab, Who is it? Is it urgent? And that tab consumes working memory until you close it. A single notification disrupts your focus as much as actively using your phone. You close that loop the same way you close any other. Tell your brain exactly when you'll deal with it. At 3 o'clock, on my break, I'll check my phone and respond to anything that's urgent. Or remove the trigger. Phone in another room. No buzz, no loop. Either way, the loop closes. There's one more finding from Masacampo and Baumeister that explains why this works, and it's the one most people get wrong. Participants who listed several possible approaches for each task, but didn't commit to any single one, showed the exact same interference as people who did nothing at all. Listing your options without choosing is not planning. Your brain doesn't need options, it needs a decision. Committing to one path, one specific plan, is what tells the monitoring system it can finally stand down. The task itself isn't the problem. The unresolved intention is, and a specific plan, written down, resolves it. You might be thinking, I already write things down. I have a to-do list, a calendar, a project management app. Isn't that planning? Here's the test. Look at any item on your list right now and ask whether you can say exactly when, where, and how you'll do it. If you can't, your brain is still tracking that loop, still burning resources in the background while you try to focus. A list of tasks is a catalog of open loops. It doesn't close them, it opens them. The fix is the same one Marcus used. Convert each item into a specific plan. There's a fair concern that these studies were done with undergraduates doing artificial tasks in a lab. But the phone notification study used participants' own phones and real notifications, the same kind of sustained attention you need for driving or writing a report. And the Masacampo studies used real personal tasks that participants actually cared about, exams, errands, deadlines they couldn't miss. The mechanism is the same one you feel every day. The lab just made it measurable. 3 things to take with you. The famous finding that you remember unfinished tasks better than finished ones doesn't replicate. What actually holds up is that unfinished tasks drain your cognitive resources and interfere with whatever you're doing right now. The fix isn't finishing the task, it's planning it. For every unfinished task occupying your mind, write down exactly when, where, and how you'll do it, and your brain will stop tracking the open loop. If this helped you, share it with someone who has too many open tabs, in their browser and in their head.